tectonic plates. Okay. But there is, so now that finally they accepted tectonic plates, now there is another theory. This is not a new theory. Einstein was fascinated by this theory. I'm going to tell you, and I just briefly mentioned it in the previous episode. It's called Earth crust displacement. Now this is fascinating. So think of this as orange is a good example. So let's say we loosen the skin on the surface of the orange. So orange inside core remains the same. We don't make it move. But the earth crust, which is about 50 kilometers thick, on an average, so we can move the crust without actually moving the core. Now, be fascinated. Be ready to be fascinated. Now what happens is, suppose my Antarctica is here on the southern side. So inside core remains the same. But because of earth crust displacement, I shift it little bit. So because the earth core is same, still the south pole is at the same position, but my Antarctica is no longer at the south pole. So Antarctica has shifted, and you can have that. And actually there is evidence. This is the work of Charles Hapgood.
So the south pole was still as cold as it is today.
Correct.
But the land mass of Antarctica was probably at a different position on the globe.
Very good. And not too far from it, but shifted from where it is today.
It was cold, but not so cold that it's covered in ice, because it had a different position.
Different latitude, right? Now in the south there is not much land, so it's very difficult to explain. But in the north it is very easy to explain. In fact, today the North Pole, the terrestrial North Pole, is right in the middle of Arctic Sea. But if you go back about 15,000 years ago, and now you might get a goosebump moment. If you go 15,000 years ago, the North Pole, the terrestrial location of North Pole, there is evidence to show that, and Charles